Hello, everybody, and welcome to Season 3 of NNN News, your only source for truth, tenacity, and truth. As always, I'm joined by my friend and co-host, Neville Croft.
Greetings, comrades. Welcome back to the Talkie Tube. We have a very special guest with us today. Welcome, Quinn.
Yes.
First off, I just want to say thank you for having me here.
You're welcome.
I'm excited to be on. I actually watch your show since it's not funny at all. It's very news oriented.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, of course, and we got a whole lot of news this week. I mean, it just keeps on coming, it seems. But before the news, we got something even better. We got an interview. So I say, let's just get into it. How does that sound, everybody?
That sounds good.
Sounds good. Well, let's get into our first question here. Quinn, if Putin launches the nukes, what might be a good sort of post-apocalyptic version of cooking with comrades? You know, are we going to, what sort of recipes can we use in the post-apocalyptics?
So I think that we're going to need to be more resourceful and think about what might happen if we lose access to the organic markets. So I was working on some new ideas. I was trying to think of recipes that we could implement in times of scarcity. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking possibly some kind of rodent stew, just until we get the organic markets back, of course.
But so, I mean, can we use vegan rodents?
If you have that, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
If you were to put carrots with the rodent, would that count as vegan then?
That's a good question. I don't know about that.
Possibly. It just depends on how your idea of vegan changes in the revolution.
Good question. Good question. All right, Nev, I think next one goes to you. And Nev, you have a beautiful camera angle this time. Everybody gets to admire.
Yes. Unfortunately, my wire was the victim of a cyber attack, so I can't really charge my phone properly.
Wait, so you're telling me there was Russian collusion in your wire? That's very scary, Nev.
Yeah, I think that it might have something to do with the Wi-Fi connection. Mm-hmm. I'm not quite sure.
Okay, well, anyway, let's keep the interview churning here.
Yeah, so outside of the post-apocalyptic theories, as a devout vegan myself and a professional vegan cook, what would you say the essential recipes are for a vegan diet, especially if I want to enhance my my vegan cookbook?
Okay, believe it or not, but you can harvest anything from yourself, and it's a great vegan option. As long as you consent, you can use any of your own bodily fluids in cooking. It saves money, and it has less of an impact on the environment. It's like recycling.
Wow, that's incredible.
So organic recycling, this seems like a total breakthrough here.
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's self-recycling, you know? You never need to put anything new in there.
That's amazing. So, any particular recipes that we could use? Or any fluids that in particular? Or?
Well, I'd have to say there is an entire book on cooking with your own semen. Encourage you to check that out.
All right, definitely going to add that to my my reading list.
Absolutely.
For sure. Now I got to ask you here. You know, I think you could speak for Antifa pretty definitively at this point. I mean, Boston Antifa was one of the biggest chapters, if not the biggest chapter.
The biggest.
So I got to wonder, is Antifa helping Ukraine to fight Putin? What's going on?
Oh, I definitely think so. So we have sent so many comrades overseas to Ukraine, and they're so busy fighting the good fight that we haven't even heard back from them yet. So if you folks are watching, thank you for all the good work that you're doing. I haven't gone myself because I am currently starting a new business.
Sure.
I'm actually officially announcing it here right now.
Well, that's amazing. Do you want to announce it right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Lay it down.
So it's an enterprise, really. It's an OnlyFans account, and I feel like it's going to be a great asset when we move into the revolution, as our jobs are going to be shuffling around. It's going to be good to have a backup plan until the shifting is over. So I'll send the link to Norm and Neville, and they'll post it.
Wow. So this is going to be fantastic. And I think many Antifa members should look at this avenue for revenue, because if you want to tear down the system, you need a little of the cha-ching to do that, I think.
You should call it Only Comrades or something.
Oh,
absolutely.
That's
we
good.
could even make our own website, but for now we're just working with existing infrastructure.
Sure, it's what you got to do. What you got to do to get it done.
And speaking of existing infrastructure, what better than your own body?
There you go.
Exactly.
and they can't take that away from you as hard as they try. So,
Exactly.
so go ahead now with your next question. I think it's a great one,
On
actually.
to the next one. So
Real
I've
thinker.
been questioning my cat for a while, and I think that my cat Che might be non-binary. What should I do?
Okay. So, first, you're going to need to work on your gender neutral language. It is
Okay.
important to not only not misgender your pets, but to also make sure that you're using the correct gender terminology around your friends. You don't want to confuse
Okay.
them. And then there's
Yes.
so many fun things you can do with them. You get to pick a new name, new clothes, all that
Wow.
sort of stuff.
So you almost get to reinvent your pet. You know.
Exactly. It's like having a new pet.
That's amazing. So if you think your cat is non-binary, don't go against it. Embrace it, because there's so many things you can do with that. That's great. Now I got to ask you
I've
this.
already been using they them pronouns, and we can maybe switching to Seizure, depending on if my cat consents.
Good question.
Absolutely.
Good question. And
You could lay like pieces of paper out and have them pick which one with their paw, and then
Yeah.
you'd know. Yeah.
yeah, all right. Well, I got to ask, how have things changed in the Antifa ranks since Biden got into office?
Well, anyone who supports Biden has been removed from my ranks, if that's what you're asking.
You don't have Biden boys in Antifa?
We do not.
What?
They are banned.
What does Dustin do then?
Dustin is no longer part of Boston Antifa.
Oh,
Whoa.
Dude,
When did this happen? This is news to me.
yeah. News to me as
I
well.
mean,
Wow.
it happened as soon as he started talking about it. We let him be a figurehead, but that's it. That's all. That's just what the public expects. He makes
my
no
God.
decisions for us.
Well,
Whoa.
you're learning something new here. That's
Exactly.
wow.
Well, Norm and I are very strict Biden
we
boys.
are
we
Biden
no longer
boys.
welcome?
I know. That's it. That's actually why I don't like your show, because you're always talking Biden
geez.
up like he's better than Drumpf.
Well,
The man is
wait.
a potato.
Okay, but a potato is better than a parsnip. Everyone knows that. Anyway, now just
Or
get to the next
nasty
question
fascist
before Lindsay destroys our show live. Okay.
Yes. So, on to the next question. Is who is Antifa backing in 2024?
So we are backing Bernie until he dies, and then we are going to riot until someone with the same ideals replaces him. It could be AOC.
Do they
We
have
don't
to
know
look
yet.
like him too?
They don't necessarily have to look like him. We can make exceptions, but for now it's Bernie.
Yeah, and Nev, you asked the wrong question there.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. I've been a bit
It's all right, Nev.
differently
I'll ask your question, and then you ask a normal question next. All right.
Got it.
Now, I really wanted. I didn't even want to ask this question because I already know the answer to it, but I'm going to. What can we do to support Biden in the midterms? I know you don't care. You're gonna say nothing.
We could just fucking not.
Jesus Christ! This is. Nev, ask your next question so we just keep this moving.
I'm just shocked. What happened? Why do you no longer support Biden? What
I've
happened?
never supported Biden. I've never supported Biden.
What?
I've never
That was
said a
under a
nice word
different
about the
impression.
man.
Jesus.
I don't believe this.
This is-
I'm shaking right now.
I'm emotionally shaking. I'm physically shaking, and I am spiritually shaking.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go to the next question before I have a panic attack. What are your thoughts on Elon Musk's attempted seizure of Twitter?
A good question.
Well, I actually haven't heard anything about that, but I think that I'm going to need to see what they're saying on BuzzFeed before I make an official statement.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
That makes sense. You definitely want to
Yeah.
make sure you have a good news source on such an important topic like this.
Exactly.
Now, I got to ask this. You seem to have Dustin, very well trained. What are your tips for pacifying a partner?
So I would say that the biggest thing that you need to do is to get your partner into some kind of chastity. I mean, it really provides such a great attitude adjustment. That's it.
If there's anything that white males need, it's an attitude adjustment in 2022.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, he's pretty much in it 24/7 at this point.
24/7.
It's the difference between punching a hole in the wall and massaging my feet.
Is that why he's a Biden boy with an I, not a Y now?
Possibly.
Possibly.
That could be it.
Huh. Interesting.
Does this work for news co-hosts as well?
Possibly. I haven't tried that, but you could always give it a try.
Why would you want to pacify a news co-host now?
Well, sometimes, Norm, you misgender me, and I get
I
very
don't
upset.
misgender you enough. Sometimes I have a screw-ups every now and then, but it's not a, you know.
Well, I don't know, Norm. This
my
seems to happen quite frequently, and it makes me very, very,
Okay, now
this-
we'll talk about it in couples therapy next week, okay? Just,
Okay.
Jesus.
All
Get
right,
to the next
let's go
question.
to the next question.
All right, thank
So
you.
obviously, Norm and I like to play approved video games. So which approved video games do you recommend?
All right, so anti-fascism isn't a game, okay? You can't just play games and expect to get somewhere. However, there is literally a game called Antifa that you could play to get acquainted with
Check it out.
anti-fascism.
Check it out, guys.
Check that out.
Wow. Now, what do you do
We'll
in
have
this
to put that on
game?
the list.
You are
become
anti-Tifa?
anti-fascist. Yeah.
Huh.
You burn trash cans. The typical things.
Yeah, oh,
that we
great.
do. Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Right.
You know, I got to ask you this, and you know, because you're still wearing the mask, even
I
though
am.
even though that some of the COVID precautions have been lifted, and that's because you're not wearing it for COVID. I mean, you probably ought to, because you're not a science hater. But you know, Antifa was some of the first people to wear masks. You know, did you do this as a COVID precaution in the first place because of some like COVID precognition, or what was the genesis of the mask? Because you guys did it before it was cool.
Oh, absolutely. So we are mostly from various covens, and felt that COVID would be an appropriate way to end Trump's presidency. So you're welcome, really.
Wow.
In regards to the mask thing, I was actually just thinking about it the other day that we were so ahead of the curve back then. It's crazy. We thought of it before everyone else. We were leading the trend. But it would have been nicer if a lot more people had been wearing masks.
You guys were like before the wave there. It was amazing.
Right. Yeah.
So I think people should have followed your lead. If they had gotten the memo that like masks, you guys would have totally stopped the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
But except for the anti-maskers. I mean, the people who deserved it, right?
But we wouldn't want to stop COVID because that is what ended Trump's presidency.
That's true. So it's like a necessary evil.
Exactly.
What do they say? The ends justify the
means.
The what?
The means.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that's the one.
All right. Well, that's great. I think that's all the questions we have.
Awesome.
But do you know what it's time for?
What's it time for?
It's time for the recent news. Are we ready for that?
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go into it. Our first story here is a rather scary story, to be real with you. Twitter grapples with Elon Musk, who has now bought 10% of his stock, and he's even buying more. We'll see in a later article. I mean, this was an article I got at the beginning of the week. He'd bought 10%. I mean, is he doing this so that he can uncap the character limit and have crazy Twitter rants? I mean, what do you think his intention here is for buying this huge percentage and getting on the board? Any thoughts?
Are you asking me still?
I'm asking everybody. Yeah, you're still here.
Well, Elon he talks a lot.
Sure.
So it makes sense. He is a little bit autistic, as far as I understand it. So he needs more words.
And he might
so
want.
it does make sense.
And I think there was something about an edit button too, and that's like a thing Elon could use. Certainly.
That's very concerning. You could say the N word and then make people say a lot of mean things, and then you could say something nice to replace it. That wouldn't be good.
No, that would be awful. I mean, could you imagine a setup like that? It would totally screw people up.
Exactly.
I think the most terrifying prospect is if he unbans you know who.
Who's that?
Right.
I can't say their name now without
We've said it a lot so far today.
Yeah. I can't say it anymore.
Is it the guy with the name who starts with D or T?
Yes.
Yes. I hate that
the guy whose
dude.
last name sounds like a fart noise.
Oh my God, that guy?
That guy, no.
Dude,
that guy.
I hate that guy. We have more. We actually have another article here about Elon Musk, but it's hidden behind a paywall. So just give me a quick second. Will I just get rid of this
capitalism
really
ruins
quick.
everything.
I know. Luckily,
really
my lawyer taught me how to remove these. So it says more about Elon Musk. Of course, Elon Musk is now attempting more than 10%. He's going for the hostile takeover. This seems very painful. I mean, what's next on Twitter? Are we gonna have to pre-order the tweets like Tesla and never get them? I mean, this is crazy. Craziness. this Elon Musk guy, what does he want? I mean, he already has the cars. He's already done the space thing. I mean, what is he going to do with Twitter next?
And how many kids does he have? It's crazy.
Yeah. Just keep
I think we
popping
should
them
start
out.
investing in stock so that we should become the majority shareholder.
That's a good idea. We got to get 11% stock. And what do you,
I'm just concerned that you guys investing in stock is promoting capitalism.
okay,
I'm a
you're
little
right
worried
about that. What about
The ends justify the means.
I guess so.
But what about if we made it so that like Twitter was like all pro Antifa?
I mean, that'd be great.
Yeah.
We could do that.
We could do that. What about if instead of one person buying the stock, we do a communal purchase of the stock?
I love that idea.
Think about
That's
it.
a great idea.
Yeah.
That's like employees owning the business.
Exactly. Like the lunatics taking over the asylum. A great idea.
Always a great idea.
Now, the next story, I want to do a little trigger warning. It does include a little bit of sexual assault. This is Jackson, Mr. Kavanaugh, has apparently invited another person from the Supreme Court, Jackson. I don't know Jackson who, they don't say in the headline. Kind of a dumb idea. To a beer pong party. I mean, are we really surprised by this? I mean, with all the crazy stuff that Kavanaugh went through, before he became a Supreme Court
this is
justice.
insane. I think that Jackson is the new Supreme Court initiate.
Oh my God! And this is
that
the
the woman of
initiation
color?
ritual.
Yeah.
He
Which is
he
disgusting.
invited a woman of color to a
That's
beer
even
pong.
worse.
Here's the question: what was he going to do at that ritual? I mean, was this just to do some grab ass? Was that his end goal there? We don't know.
It has to be. We don't know though.
Somebody needs to tell him that he's on the Supreme Court. He's not in the Animal House of Representatives.
And it's fucking 2022, okay?
It is. It is in fact that year, as far as I'm aware, and that is mind blowing.
Ugh.
Gosh,
Disgusting.
I can't believe. I mean, I hope the next story is a little bit better, but I just don't know. I just don't know. Our next story is. Says, now I'm pissed. Secret Service agents outraged by White House spin on the first dog's bite. Okay, so it's a little more jovial. It's about a dog, not a human. Now, see, what I want to know about this is, I feel like this dog really should have seen this coming, to be honest with you. I mean, he saw what happened to Bill. Like, clearly, this stuff is not put up with in the White House, in the Oval Office. So I think this dog really should have realized that before we tried biting people.
I think we might be being a bit hasty here.
Isn't this Biden's dog?
Oh,
yeah.
I know it's Biden's dog, Nev. I know it's Biden's dog, but you
what I
can't just
was
go
saying.
around
We're
biting
rushing
people,
to
Nev.
we're
You
rushing
can't
to
go.
conclusions here,
Nev, we
This
just
dog
had
could
a
be
story
framed.
about this. We just talked about this with Kavanaugh. In 2022, you can't go biting people. Okay?
Absolutely not. No.
It doesn't matter if you're a dog. It doesn't matter if you're non-binary. It doesn't matter if you're bisexual. You can't go around biting people in 2022 without consent. All right?
Well, the dog might identify as like a wolf or something, so it's just part of its nature.
What does that change, Nev? It's part of its nature? You're not justifying it? Oh, my
I don't
No,
think Biden
no.
should own a wolf and have it in the White House. I don't
This,
think that's a good idea.
yeah, I think that might be a little crazy.
Well,
So
Biden is wise. It's not my position to question his wisdom.
now I wonder, did this dog say something like, I did not have sexual relations with that armchair, or try something to get out of it? I don't even know. Can dogs talk? Probably not, to be real with you. I don't think
I
they
have met a
can.
talking dog, so
You did?
they do talk, yeah.
What was that like?
It's like talking to a human.
All right, well, that's very enlightening.
Yeah.
You can visit some spiritual mediums who can speak to animals, actually.
Oh, wow. Well, I might have to
I
check.
mean, I thought they'd have some of those in your coven, though.
Again, it's coven, Nev, and no. My coven doesn't have any animal communicators, but I might have to send out for one, because that sounds very interesting. Now, our next story here is Biden will allow summertime sales of higher ethanol gas. This is just great news, right? Now, is that what all those, like, I did that stickers were about that I've been seeing with Biden? Like, is that what those stickers are? Because I've been seeing those on pumps. Are they talking about this ethanol gas thing?
They were a little early, if so, because it's not
It
till
just
summer.
happened.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it hasn't happened yet even?
No, it's not till summer. It says summertime sales.
I think
Well,
people might just be
it was pretty
excited.
sunny outside, Quinn. It could be summertime.
Oh, okay. Got it.
But interesting. Well, that's weird because I've been seeing these stickers for a while. I guess you're right. But then what are the stickers about then, Quinn?
I don't know. I don't go to gas stations.
All right.
I don't have a car.
Don't support. Well, you know what? That's good. You're not supporting the fossil fuel industry.
Exactly.
Or as I like to call it, the fake dinosaur industry. You know, they don't tell you this, but all they do is they take dinosaur bones, they crush them down, and that's how they make your gasoline. And chew on that,
Wow.
buddy,
Wow.
because that ain't, put that in your
That's
pipe and
literally
smoke
like
it.
defiling a grave. That's horrible.
It really is. It really is. Now, our next story is going to be a little hard for Quinn and I to understand. Luckily, we have Nev here to interpret it for us a little bit here, as our British correspondent, a citizen of the world, I should say.
Yes.
Boris Johnson, wife and chancellor among those fined for the Downing Street lockdown party. So is it illegal to throw parties in England? Has that been a thing for a long time?
Well, it looked like an unsafe party.
Okay, so is it not an approved party?
No, so he was not standing apart from people. He didn't have 2 masks on like I did at the time.
See, I
So-
always figured parties in England were boring. The only party I ever heard of in England was the Labour Party. And who wants a party where you work? I mean,
Well, the Labour Party here is the good party now. They're the ones
that's
that, you know...
that's what I'm saying. You guys think a good party is a Labour Party. I mean, a party should be a thing where you don't work.
They're essentially British Democrats.
Wait, I thought it was a
So,
party, Nev. Like you dance around, do the...
Well, I mean, you can do, but it seems you get fined
Quinn's just
for
not,
it,
I mean,
so-
Quinn's not, are you... Does any of this make sense? I know it's hard to understand, Neville.
No, I was just thinking if, like, don't they need a license to start having parties again now?
I think
Or
that's
is
something
that-
like that. Is that...
yeah.
So I guess
Well,
the Prime
seemed
Minister
like
didn't have his
Boris
party
didn't get a
license?
license. Yeah, I
Does
don't
he-
think he bought his license.
He didn't get his party license yet.
Wow.
No.
That was a fuck up, to be real with you. That was a real... That
was all on him, honestly.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I will say, at least it wasn't the Republican Party, right?
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. Our next story here is from NPR, and of course that means I'm smart because I'm reading NPR, but I am just reading the headline. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signs bill banning abortions after 15 weeks. Now, see, this one's kind of weird because is it only for, they're only going to ban it for 15 weeks? Because that seems like a short time. I mean, I know they're probably just going to renew the bill after that, but like, how long do bills usually last for?
The verbiage sounds like they're not going to start the bill for 15 weeks.
Oh, so it won't start, and then how long will it go for after that?
I mean, generally laws last indefinitely.
So, okay, so then are you supposed to just do all your abortions during these 15 weeks? That doesn't seem very practical.
I mean, or you're going to have to leave the state and
You know,
do it somewhere else.
we really got to get that bill guy, the guy who hangs out on the steps, who's shaped like a bill to tell us about this,
Right.
because this stuff's really confusing.
Yeah, we need clarification.
I mean, surely. What are your thoughts on this, Nev?
Well, I'm just in confusion here. Is it 15-week wait? Is it only lasting 15 weeks? Like, I don't think these people know what they're doing.
Well, but as Quinn
Like,
said,
it's ridiculous.
it's banning all abortions after 15 weeks, which does make it sound like in 15 weeks' time, all abortions
Right.
will be banned.
Yeah,
Which, like, that's a bummer.
it is.
Jeez.
Who doesn't like having an abortion?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
If you got to get them, right?
Right.
Like, my cousin,
Mm-hmm.
she, has abortion contests with my other cousin.
All right.
And now, how are they going to do that now? How are they going to have their, contests anymore? Like,
Well,
what's going to happen?
Hopefully they don't live in Florida.
I was going to say, Nev, I think they might be all right because it is in Florida. But yeah.
Oh, I was just very concerned at that point. I
But
apologize.
Nev, your concern is very, it's noble concern for sure, for sure. Now, the next story confused me more than anything, to be honest with you. It says 6 lawmakers arrive in Taiwan on unannounced trip. I'm really not sure what country they went to be real with you.
I don't think that's a real country.
I've not heard of that one before.
It's really alarming to see our lawmakers, travel to countries that are not on, the NNN News Chinese-approved charts. I mean, it's crazy.
No, I don't think we should be covering this.
Okay, we'll just move on to the next story.
I
then.
don't think that's a good
You're right.
idea.
I don't even know why I included this. So keep.
Some intern's gonna have to be fired after that one.
Hey, the next story. Next story is about Biden, though. So that's happy, right? Except for Quinn. Gee, Quinn, you really throw it off the mojo. To be real with you.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you do interviews.
That's you get what you get. But then Quinn, I want your insight. What your thoughts on this are when we do the story. All right.
Okay.
So this is when Biden speaks from the heart. He is not speaking for the USA, and I think this is a perfectly reasonable thing. I mean, why should people be able to expect that they can take what the president says seriously?
That's incredibly concerning to hear someone say that about this country.
Wait,
that someone
what's
just
concerning?
Riffing. No one liked it when Trump did it, but when Biden does it,
Biden's not Trump. Okay, I want that to be known. Biden is. First off, Biden is not grabbing anybody by the pussy, Quinn. Biden is quote unquote speaking from the heart. That sounds a lot better than grabbing somebody by the pussy, doesn't it?
I guess.
So.
I mean, at least he's not sending out mean tweets, so we've got that as well.
Mm-hmm. Does he even tweet? I don't think he tweets.
Well, somebody controls his Twitter account, but that's how a president should be, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, let's keep it going before it gets any more awkward in here. German irritated by Ukraine's snub of presidential visit. Now, if you read the story a little bit, which I did read a little bit of this, you learn that the German president is actually more of a ceremonial position. So I guess we shouldn't really be surprised that the ceremonial president is mad when he misses ceremonies. But I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I feel like the Ukrainians kind of have a couple things they're dealing with right now.
They're kind of busy, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe we just need to send more people over to help them.
Yeah, but I guess if they're not gonna acknowledge our presidential visits, I mean, come on, should we?
I feel like what they're going through kind of is it's okay for them to
snub a president when he comes. They don't have to have a big parade in Kiev for him.
I think we could skip it this time. Yeah.
Well, somebody tell the German chancellor that.
I will let him know.
Because we definitely don't want any chancellors mad at us during this time.
No.
Our next story.
No, if we got the Ukraine protest schedule sorted out, I had an email from one of the interns saying that we're scheduled to go to Kyiv to protest.
I don't know. Yeah, well, I think we're going to do a cyber protest, Nev.
Okay.
That is a good idea.
We were going to cyber appear.
We should organize that. That should be something that we do.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody at once just screaming at their computer screens, that'll definitely do something.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been tweeting constantly to Vladimir Putin, telling him to stop, and I'm practically on the front lines at this point anyway, so.
Oh, for sure. Now, our next story, I put in here for Quinn, because I wanted to get one, maybe we get a female perspective on it, So this story is, men should always pay on the first dates as a way to check if the other person is, quote unquote, entitled, says divorce lawyers. What are your thoughts here? I mean, I think, to be honest with you, I think divorce lawyers are probably just mad that they got divorced.
Right. Yeah. They kind of have a vengeance and a vendetta against the women in those relationships. So it makes sense that they would be a little cranky about things.
It does definitely make sense.
In my opinion, I will take
what do you think?
Any kind of donations or support that I can get.
So you think they should pay? You think
that's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But it's not expected, but it's fine and kind of nice.
It's expected.
It is expected. Okay.
Yeah. But I would prefer it.
Sure.
So, and Dustin knows that. So when I go out on dates with people,
wow,
I don't have to pay.
That makes sense.
Right.
Sure. All right. Well, you got to hear first, guys. Definitely. I think this article is bunk. Because you don't seem entitled, right? No.
Of course not.
So people at Insider, I think you guys are outsiders, to be real with you. All right. Sorry to lay down hard style on you guys, but I just had to do it. Now, our next article includes female icon Cardi B. Woo!
I
Woo-hoo.
love her.
I also love Cardi B. I put the story in because I was very surprised to learn recently that apparently Cardi B is not on Joey B's cabinet, which is surprising because I know that because before we had thought that he was going to be maybe, I don't know. I still
We were
support Joe
talking about
Biden.
that for weeks.
We were talking
before
about
his
that for weeks, and we were sure that Cardi B was going to be on
What
his cabinet.
happened there?
I don't know.
Did someone put the wrong name down or something?
I don't know, Nev. I don't know. But speaking of names, the article we have about Cardi B here is that Cardi B and Offset revealed their son's name, which is, of course, very important news. Now, if we scroll down here, we do get to see, yes, they say Wave to Syphilis, which is a very pretty name, I think.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that is a nice name.
And
I do like that.
Was that? I wonder if that was inspired by Ketis in the feminist server. What do you? It's a possibility, right?
It sounds Greek, I think.
Syphilis, like
Yes.
is that the guy who with the big rock?
The heel, I think.
Oh, the guy with
Yeah.
the guy with the heel.
Yeah,
Who snuck in a big horse?
maybe.
The horsey guy.
That sounds right. Yeah.
All right. Well, that very intense story concludes our recent news, and I put it at the end because that's probably the most important story of the
Absolutely.
Of course.
recent news segment. But that means that we're into the next segment, which I gotta warn everybody is the Trump watch, and while it never stops, it never ceases
ends.
to terrify as well. So everybody, we're about to do it. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Reluctantly, yes.
Yeah.
All right. First article here in the Trump watch is Lauren Ingram, great name, says Donald Trump endorsement of Dr. Oz was a quote-unquote mistake. And I just want to say I'm surprised that Donald Trump even knows a doctor, to be real with you.
Yeah, you'd think he'd have rejected all of them by now.
I thought that was the whole deal. That's what they kind of made it out to seem like. But I got to know, is this Dr. Oz guy Fauci approved?
I don't know. We could ask.
I
feel like I have a direct line to Fauci,
You
so I
do.
could ask.
Well, maybe we can get the
I thought
inside
Oz
scoop of that at
was a
some
wizard,
point.
wasn't it?
But that's what I was wondering too. I was like, I feel like naming yourself after the wizard who was like fake, because that was the whole thing. That he was like he hid behind a curtain and couldn't really do magic.
That makes so much sense because he could
Yeah.
be, a fake science preacher.
So maybe that's why Trump likes him then. That's
Yeah,
weird. That's crazy.
Makes a lot of sense, actually.
Well, I'm glad that we're still covering Trump after all this time, because I mean, how else would we get the inside scoop on stuff like that? Now,
Yeah, I don't see anyone else picking up on these clues like we are.
I got to ask you this, and Quinn, I think I might know your answer here, but we'll see. Who do you think can beat Donald Trump in 2024? Are you thinking Bernie, Quinn, still?
I think Bernie could definitely take him, but literally anybody at this point. Literally a dog.
A
Did you know
dog,
that
a cat.
there's a dog in Minnesota that's the mayor?
Really?
I think it's Minnesota, either Minnesota or Michigan.
That would be
There's
a great
mayor.
president.
So I think that would be even better than Donald Trump. So
Imagine how great it would be to have a dog as a president. I mean,
that would be amazing.
It'd be great. There wouldn't be any wars.
Everyone would have bones.
Sure.
I should have my cat
a
run.
bone in every person's hand.
But I feel like your cat is English, right? Like it's not American. So it can't run for presidency.
Maybe it has like
Yeah, the logistics of that's a little screwed up,
offspring
definitely.
in America.
So you think your cat can become a non-binary American? Is that what you said, Nev?
Yeah, like if my cat was to
All right.
reproduce and have like a non-binary offspring that could then become president.
All right. Interesting. All right. Well, send your cat here. It's going to give birth to its litter. That's a good idea. All right. Our next story, great headline. Sad. Donald Trump is just too boring for a grand Shakespearean makeover. I just want to know, who is Shakespeare anyway?
Who really is anybody, to be honest? Shakespeare, whatever.
I don't know who he
I
is.
Was he some sort of like slam poet or something?
Is he?
I don't know.
Well,
I heard he was a slam
the
poet.
way that they characterize this article, it makes him seem like he wrote plays or something, but I don't really know.
I think we should have Cardi B write some plays.
Yo,
Yes.
now
That's a
that
brilliant
would be
idea.
what's up. For
The new
sure.
Hamilton. Absolutely.
The new Hamlet, even.
Yeah.
Hamlet 10. Is that where that name came from? Hamlet?
It has to be.
Wait, did the name Hamlet come from Hamilton?
I don't know. We got to ask Fauci again.
Yeah, well,
I think he
who's
would
the guy
know.
who wrote Hamilton? The Mirandez. Yeah,
Oh,
Don't know.
we'll have to figure it
Not
out.
sure on that one, man.
We'll have to talk to the. I really threw a curveball there. We'll have
Yeah.
to talk to the people about that. Anyway, our next story, very scary. Trump brags about his relationship to Putin as Fox News shows body bags in Ukraine.
Jesus.
And I mean, for all we know,
Disgusting.
there could be bodies in those bags.
Absolutely.
So,
Jesus Christ.
I mean, apparently, I guess their relationship's official. That Putin and Trump. I hope that the Kremlin doesn't hurt Putin for being part of the LGBTQ.
We should honestly put our list of all the things we predicted. We've been talking about this for months
Yeah,
now.
because Quinn, we
And only
predicted
recently are they talking about this.
we predicted
We're like
Donald Trump
prophets.
and Putin's gay relationship months ago,
Wow. That's insane.
and now officially Trump is.
And here it is.
And yeah, Trump is now bragging about the relationship. I mean, there you go.
I just don't even want to picture them kissing.
You don't have to. I mean, because it's just. Well, it's one of the things that's hard because Trump has to have a step stool because Putin's on a horse all the time when they're together.
Right.
It's just more romantic.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'd work out, to be honest with you. But
No.
but anyway, we wish them luck as an LGBTQ couple. So let's hope he stays with that, and not does the president thing. Now we did talk about this a little bit earlier, but Elon Musk might be buying Twitter, and people are wondering is he going to bring Donald Trump back? Never even brought this up. Probably
I
because
think he would. I think he
It's
would.
only from sleeping properly, honestly. I'm that scared.
I think he's going to win. It's very scary. I mean, what if he misspells confetti again? I mean, what will we do?
This is exactly what BuzzFeed News would probably say about this. That he would bring back Donald Trump,
Yeah.
and we can't let this happen.
We can't
so
at all.
by any means necessary, even if we have to go your route, be pro-capitalism, buy out Twitter.
I hate to say it, guys, but yeah,
have
we
to do it.
might have to like start a Reddit campaign to buy Twitter. So
Right.
that,
I think we should use the
Scary.
money from Quinn's new
GoFundMe.
business operation
oh my
to fund
God,
this
Quinn,
takeover.
you got to get the biggest OnlyFans account and then buy out Twitter.
That makes sense.
There we go.
I could do that.
Well,
Easy.
we got a goal now, everybody. Make sure to subscribe to Quinn's OnlyFans to buy out Twitter. 'Cause that's going to be
Please
fantastic.
do. That's what we're supporting here.
Now, Trump's fixation on the past puts his political future in limbo. Now, I'm pretty sure Trump can't limbo. And limbo, I think it's just cultural appropriation.
Yes.
Politico.com. More like politino.com, okay? Get owned. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think would happen if Trump tried to limbo? He'd probably break his back.
Absolutely. He eats so much McDonald's, and there's no way he's expelling that, so it's all stuck in his gut. And
Yep.
so he's top heavy.
Trump, fat McDonald's, orange. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
What else you got there? It's perfect. And I totally agree with you. We just got one more article in the Trump watch, so it's going to be okay, guys. We've almost made it through.
Oh, Jesus.
Our next article, though, is a big one, and it's one that we've been talking about for a little while, this whole series. But Let's Go Brandon is apparently going to become a crypto currency, and they have a lawsuit against the Trump world influencers, and now they're running for the hills. I think
Have we
absorbed
finally
that
figured
headline.
out who Brandon is?
I don't know what any of that meant.
Like, who is
I don't-
Brandon?
Well,
Have we figured it out yet?
didn't you say we had a Brandon at the office who was a janitor now?
Yeah, like the janitor Brandon, but I
Have you
don't know
asked
if
him
it's
if
that
he's the
Brandon
guy
or
on the
not.
coin, the crypto coin? Check his
Well,
pockets next time you see him
I'm
for
in
some
the
Brandon
office
coins.
next week. I'll ask him then.
Yeah, check his pockets for some Brandon coins next time you see him.
Yeah.
I still don't know, how does cryptocurrency work? Is it like cryptozoology? No.
No, I thought it was like a crypt, like a tomb crypt, so maybe old coins or something.
Is that where they put them? Quinn, do
They
you
have to
know?
store
Maybe.
him somewhere. They
I
have to
don't
store
know.
him somewhere, so that's probably
They-
it. That makes sense. I don't know anything about
Everybody,
crypto.
we need to raid the crypts and take away the Trump coins, all right? Mm-hmm. Write that down. Anyhow, that has been the entirety of the news. I want to thank you, Quinn, for coming. You did a fantastic job.
Thank
Is
you.
there anything you want to put on the line, announce before we go here?
Let's just reiterate. I have an OnlyFans account. You can follow it. I'm going to send the link to Norm and Neville. Put your significant others in chastity to keep them in and have an attitude check. So that is all that I have to say about that. That's my world right now.
That's that easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm not sure if that's a racist phrase, so please don't hurt me. This has been NNN News. Remember to stay black, and we will see you next time.
Stay black.
Bye-bye.